almost Thanksgiving, right? Very cool. Welcome. I'm so happy to be here. This is probably my 8th year being here, and it's just such a privilege to spend this time with you guys, and to hopefully give you guys some inspiration and help you out and get you more clarity, because clarity really is power, right? And so you're at this time, which is so cool, where you can really explore and see what it is that you want to do and how you want to contribute to this world, right? And so, just by a show of hands, how many of you are thinking about chiropractic as a career? Okay, I got a few, and here's the deal. So what can happen is many times when you listen to someone speak about something that you may not think you're interested in, you can tune out. Is that right? You know, all of a sudden the phone gets really active and things like this. But what I want to do is I want to make a promise to you. And my promise to you is that if you engage in this conversation, you will definitely get something out of it. I am absolutely 100% committed to that process. So if you're engaged in this, you're going to get something out of it. Does that sound fair? Good? And so, anybody like tennis? Right? And it's really cool. Sports are just awesome in general, right? I just saw a college game day outside, and that's going to be really awesome, right? And so, anytime that you watch a sporting event, you have those that are on the field playing the game. They're on the field playing the game, and then you got the other ones that are spectators. And so, it can be very easy in this conversation for me to be the one on the court and you to be the one in the stands watching. And that's not how we want to set this up. What I want to set this up is that you guys to get on the field with me and have this be a conversation. Because you'll get a lot more out of it if you're engaged in the process. So do I have an agreement with you guys? Yes? Raise your hand. This is the first step in that. Good. So let's go ahead and get started. So I want to share with you my Synergy Success Cycle. So I've been learning this information for 20 years and integrating it. And so I've created this book that I'm writing right now called The Synergy Life. And I'm going to teach you the process that I've developed through a lot of study that will help you guys out to really give you clarity on your healthcare journey. And also I'll give you some insights on chiropractic by sharing a little bit about my background as well. And so, you know, the first principle is anyone's journey is as unique and valuable as any other one's journey. And so we all are on our journey. I'm just on mine and yours is on yours. It doesn't make mine more special and yours less special. Someone was saying I'm looking for a career that's the second best. I'm like, well, why not go for the first, right? And so your journey is your journey. It's not your parents. It's not your coworkers. It's not your anyone else. It's what you do and what you choose to do. And so who the heck am I and why should you listen to me anyway, right? Who is this guy? So again, my name is Dr. Eric Janowitz. I'm born in Miami. Anybody from South Florida? All right, very cool. So I'm from Miami. I grew up in Kendall. I've been practicing DC, which means doctor of chiropractic, since 1999. And I've had the privilege of serving 17,000 patients in Central Florida. My practice averages a new patient every hour since we started our practice almost 18 years ago, which is pretty fun. I have personally delivered 250,000 adjustments, and my office has delivered almost 500,000 adjustments, so we've seen a lot of people. I've mentored 25 doctors, so just like I'm having this conversation with you, I've had the same conversations with other physicians, chiropractors, medical doctors, nurse anesthetists, nurse practitioners, other allied professionals, and I've taught them these principles as well. They've worked in my office. We have multi-chiropractors in our practice. I've had medical doctors in our practice before as well. This is my wife, Dawn. She is a registered nurse. Been married with her for 12 years, and that's my 9-year-old boy, Asher, and my daughter, Journey. And my wife is pregnant right now, so we're going to have another one in February, so pretty cool stuff. And so, a lot of good stuff. I've been able to achieve being a millionaire since I was 30 years old. That was one of my goals, was to be able to create that kind of wealth before I was 30. And at the same time, I did that all for my chiropractic business, so just from the office that I had, while at the same time I eliminated my student loan debt and my business loan debt. And then I bought a house at 29 and I paid it off at 31. So that's a little bit of my background there. And I did that because I invested heavily in growth, both personally and professionally. So I really believe in coaching, and I really believe in learning things, and I'm a constant student. I constantly believe in growth. Your education doesn't end when you're in an auditorium like this. It never should end. And so the reason why I tell you this stuff is not to brag, and I really want you, it's not about to brag, it's to impress upon you that I'm going to be teaching you principles that I learned myself that I applied, and I had to pay lots of money and a lot of time, and all I want to do is shorten your learning curve so that you can get these principles, so that you can get to your road of success faster. Does that sound fair? Okay, because there's a lot of teachers that are out there teaching you, but they're not necessarily doing this, right? And they're not getting you the fruit. And so I want to tell you everything I'm telling you are things that I personally have done and I bear fruit in my life on. So it's not just speaking as principles, but speaking as practical principles. And so it wasn't always like that. This isn't me, but this was like me. I kind of sat on the sidelines. Anybody an athlete here? I saw someone said they're a soccer player. Well, I wasn't. So I was this skinny little kid in elementary school, I remember, and I always just felt like I was on the sideline. I didn't play a lot of sports. I was this way. And to further complicate that, I had lazy eye, strabismus. And so I would be talking to you, but my eye would be over here. And I was like, it was very, very hard as a young child. Skinny little kid with cross-eyed. That's where I started. And so all I wanted was my darn eyes to be straight. It was like if my parents would just straighten my eyes, life would be good, right? And so my parents saved money. They had the surgery. I had the surgery. My eyes became straight. I thought life would be good. But it wasn't until a year later that I found out what the surgery actually does. And so anybody here want to be an eye doctor? Anybody interested in that? Well, what they do, okay, what the surgeon does is you have the eye and you have muscles on both sides. And then a lazy eye occurs when there's a normal muscle and a weak muscle. And so the eye goes to the normal muscle because the weak muscle can't counterbalance it. So what surgery does, I found this out a year later, is they actually cut the normal muscle to make you as weak as the weak muscle. Think about that. Anybody here a parent? No? Anybody have a parent? Okay, good. So we're all involved in the conversation. Good. And so what happens is, imagine if they said to your parents, hey, we're going to make your child as weak as their weak link. You would say, what? To heck with that, right? But here's the deal. Sometimes you could be so committed to the outcome that you don't know what the process is. Does that make sense? We could want the outcome but not have any idea what we're doing. They didn't share that with my parents. My parents just wanted the outcome and I wanted the outcome. We didn't investigate. Well, what happens is if you weaken one area of your health, what do you think it does to other areas too? It's going to make them stronger or weaker? It's going to make them weaker. So the same nerves that control your eyes also impact your spine. So then I developed this severe scoliosis. So now, one problem not handled correctly led to another problem, and then I was confronted with a different issue, which was having a rod in my back. So now I'm like 8 years old, and I'm confronted with having to have this rod placed in my back. And here's the deal. Some of you really like this picture, by the way. Some of you are grossed out. So I'll show you this one. It's a little less invasive. That's an x-ray of it. But what happens is, we can be committed to this, but here's the deal. If you put a rod in your back, what do you think it does to the muscles in your spine? Makes them stronger or weaker? Anybody broke an arm or a leg and had to have it casted? How does that muscle look? Really strong, right? It does what? What's the term? It atrophies. So the muscles would atrophy, the function would atrophy. And so here's what happened is now I'm confronted with the situation. I have a straight eyes but a crooked spine, and now I'm looking going, what am I going to do? Well, thank God my dad had back pain. So my dad went to a chiropractor, and he went to this chiropractor, and he said, hey, in conversation, what can you do for my son? Is there anything you can do? He says, well, bring him in. We evaluated me, and I was at this crossroads. And so the crossroads was, hey, you could have the surgery, and the surgery would be very quick. It's one procedure, and it would straighten out very fast. But at the end of the day, it would make your body weaker. Or you can do the work. You can go ahead and do chiropractic and physical therapy, do all these things together, and I elected to go that route. It's going to take a longer process, do the work, but it's going to actually strengthen the body. So the spine sounded a lot like my eye, and I didn't want to go down that path. So here it gave me another opportunity. And so life offers neither problems or challenges, only opportunities. So I view it now as an opportunity, so I got adjusted. And I never had to have the rod on my back. And as a result of that, I dedicated my life to this career, helping people to avoid having to have that in their spine, which is pretty awesome. And so here's the situation then. So my chiropractor explained to me a couple principles. Number one is that the nervous system controls the body. So for you to heal, you to work right, you to thrive, your nervous system controls the body. Now, who here wants to do something with the nervous system? Neurosurgery, neurology, okay. So here's the deal. Chiropractic is applied neurology. And so if you're interested in the nervous system, you're in my sandbox, just so you know. And so the nervous system controls the body. The second thing is, when you look at the spine, it has two functions. Number one, it's going to support you, which is your posture. And number two, it's going to protect your nervous system. And so supports and protects. Obviously, the spine should be nice and straight from front to back, but from the sides you have curves. And the reason why that's important is the nerves feed not only muscles in your back, but they feed down your legs, they feed down your arms, they feed up into your head. So then we see things like back pain, obviously, but we see things like sciatica. Anybody here ever dealt with sciatica before? Raise your hand. Not fun, right? Because you got this darn pain in your leg, and the problem isn't in your leg, it's actually in your back. Or you could have numbness and tingling in your arms. Or anybody deal with headaches? Yes? A lot of headache cases, especially now with technology. Well, most headaches, I will tell you, are actually caused from the neck. Most headaches are a sciatica of the upper neck going up into your head, oftentimes just diagnosed as a headache, but not really treated as a nerve issue in the base of your skull. Very powerful. And then here's the other thing. The nerves also feed and give life to every organ. So also every organ is also fed and given life to. So here's what's really cool. The nerves in your lower back send strength and energy to your bowel, bladder, and sex organs. So let me ask you a question. If there's pressure to the nerve to your lower back, do you think it can cause back pain? Yes? Right? Can it cause pain down the leg? Yes. Does that mean it can also deal with things like digestion issues, like constipation? Yes. Yeah. Now, how many of you think that like people go, I'm going to go to a chiropractor because I have constipation or irritable bowel syndrome? You don't hear that every day. You hear about chiropractic because because we work on the spine. We're thought of as a back doctor, but we're a nerve system doctor. So I have patients from all different ages, from babies. I work with children with colic, asthma, allergies, skin problems, eczema, someone mentioned that, to digestive issues, to breathing issues, all because of the relationship here. Your heart is affected. There's been studies that show that high blood pressure can be reduced more effectively through adjustment and two blood pressure medications combined. This is documented research. So there's a lot of cool stuff here. Sinuses, eyes, ears, nose, and throat. People have visual changes. Sometimes can see double when they get corrected. They don't have that, or ringing in their ears, it goes away. And so the scope of practice is so much bigger. And so one of the things I love about chiropractic is my day is different every day. Although my application of treatment is going to be adjusting as the primary source of what I do, what it can impact and how it can impact changes dramatically based upon that patient that's on the table. Does that make sense? So this poster changed my life. In fact, my chiropractor explained this poster to me when I was 9, and I was going through that process. This is where I bought into the whole thing and said, I'm sold. This is what I want to do. And so the big idea of chiropractic is that your nervous system controls your body. The second one is that your body is designed to do what? What does it say? Heal. Your body is designed to heal. Now, some of you said, hey, I really like the osteopath that talked about it because they said they honored the body's ability to heal. And chiropractic is a science and an art and a philosophy that really appreciates your body's ability to heal. I mean, it's so cool. My wife is pregnant right now. And she's 44 and pregnant. Talk about a rock star, right? And so she's pregnant, and so you have this baby growing in there, and there's this wonderful intelligence that's making that baby. Like when you study like embryology, you see that. Well, that same energy that's creating my son and my wife right now is the same energy that never leaves you, that allows you to heal for as long as you're alive, right? And so chiropractic embraces that principle is intact. The third thing is the key is to remove the interference. So rather than treating the symptom, our job is to say what's interfering with your body's ability to heal, remove that and your body should heal. How cool is that, right? Totally different philosophy. And so what happens is my life application is this. Every one of you has full potential for greatness. Every one of you has potential to be great. The key is to remove any interference from allowing you to express your greatness. And most interference is self-imposed by our thoughts, our limiting beliefs, and ultimately our actions. You hear that? It's huge. This slide right here is everything. And so I want to go through this real quick because this is an important concept here. This is the journey of learning. You're always learning something every day, you're always doing something every day, and you're at a certain stage in your career right now with what you're going to do as a career. And so the 4 stages are unconscious incompetence, and that's where you don't know that you don't know. You're unaware. It's like you're Bart Simpson in it, you know what I mean? You have no idea what's going on. And so a lot of this happens with you doctors. You know, I train doctors, they come to my office, and here's the thing. Just because you go to medical school, or just because you go to dental school, just because you go to chiropractic school, doesn't mean you know how to doctor. You know, it means you got your degree. It means that you know the clinical stuff. They're not going to teach you all the other stuff. You are unaware that you're unaware that you're unaware. Is really what that is. Did you guys catch that? And so we all start off with this, and then we become aware, and then we become consciously incompetent. Now we know that we're really bad. We know we don't know how to do this thing. And it's a very humbling experience for all of us. It's like golf. Anybody play golf? Okay, it's crazy. The ball's not even moving, right? But it's probably one of the hardest sports to do with the ball that ain't even moving, right? And you got the stick, you're right there, it ain't even coming at you, and it's very hard. And if you look at it from the outside, you're like, how could that be hard? Right here, you look on TV, they got this thing, right? But it's a difficult sport. So then you do it, and you really see how bad you are. Then you all of a sudden you start to learn. And that learning allows you to become consciously competent. That's when you have to think about it, and then you can get good at it. And most of us think that that is the top. Like, hey, I put my conscious thought and I'm good at it. But the masters are unconsciously incompetent. That's where they're doing things without having to think about it, right? It's like if you look at these professionals, look at LeBron James. You think LeBron James, when he's playing the game, that he thinks about exactly where he's going to cut, how he's going to do it, how he's going to hold the ball, how he's going to position himself? Or does he just do it? Right? He just gets it done because he's at that level where he's at the level of mastery. And so here's what you want to understand. Every activity that you're presently doing throughout your entire life, you're somewhere on this scale. Who here is married? Any of you guys? Okay, you all are unconsciously incompetent about marriage. Let me just tell you that, because you don't know what it is yet because you haven't experienced it yet. It's like if you went into surgery, you did that, you're unconsciously incompetent. It's not a bad thing, it's just know where you are. So the point of this is, number one, know that this curve exists, and number two, hold no judgment, because when you hold judgment on this is when you stop growing. It's like if you become aware that you're not good at something. So say you start to do calculus, right? Or I hated organic chemistry 2. I took it in summer, B. I was ridiculous. 6 weeks of that class. Never do that, by the way. Don't do that, okay? So I did that, and if I didn't have my eye on what it is I want to do, I would have not stuck there, right? Because if you become aware that you're bad at something, 2 things occur. You either go in the direction of learning more, or what else do? You quit or give up, right? So if you judge it, you're going to quit and give up. And so the first thing I want you to do is don't hold judgment. The second thing is you want to learn how to get through this process faster. The key is don't fight it. The key is embrace it and say, how can I get through this darn curve faster? And that's the process I'm going to teach you, is the process that if you apply it, I promise you, in all areas of your life, not just your career, we'll talk about career today, but in all areas of your life, you're going to go through that process faster. So I want to speed up the curve, all right? And so the synergy system provides the framework for you to intentionally allow you to create your best life ever. That's the whole purpose of what we're creating here. And so the book is coming out next year, by the way. And so if you guys are interested in that, you just email me, book@synergyoviedo.com, and you guys will have first access to it. When it gets released, you'll have first things, get content, whatever it is that you want to do. I just want to give it to you because I love serving this school, okay? And so you'll have access there. So what does synergy mean? It means the interaction or cooperation of 2 or more agents that produce a combined effect greater than the individual parts. So, most math is 1 + 1 = 2. But the concept of synergy means that 1 + 1 can equal 4. Meaning that if you apply principles that work together, you can produce a significantly better result. So it's like, I do a good job, and my wife does a good job of what she does in life, but when the 2 of us are together, we can produce dramatically more fruit on the tree than just by ourselves. Or you can have 2 doctors, and each doctor can be working in practice together. But when you combine them, it works so much better. or when you combine a doctor with a proper team, it works so much better. You see how that works? Or all of your studying, all of your classes, and you combine the right classes, it becomes better. That's the concept of synergy. That's what I want you to embrace. So don't think in terms of addition, think in the terms of multiplication in your life, not addition, right? And so that's synergy. And so synergy life then is taking the areas of your life, all the areas. There's this thing called the wheel of life. And by the way, I have a certification in professional coaching, so I coach physicians, lawyers, financial advisors. I go into companies and I coach them these principles. And so it can be in any of these principles. So it can be in career, personal growth, contribution, spiritual, fun, romance, family, social, health, finances. We're going to focus on career, but you run them through what we call the synergy success cycle. So these are the 4 P's. The 4 P's are power, purpose, people, and process. So we run them through this framework, and that's how we're able to achieve what it is you want to do. So this is the framework. Again, we're going to focus in on career. But some of you might be trying to focus on another area of your life, maybe your health, or maybe your finances, or maybe romance, or some other aspect of your social life. You can apply this everywhere. How cool is that? So I encourage you to just take this and cross-pollinate it, right? And so the 4 P's are here. The 4 P's are, again, power, which is personal power, purpose, people, and process. So this was 20 years I was studying principles of success and personal development, professional development, and I saw these themes that fell in these quadrants. And so when we look at things, we look and say, okay, what's the first one here? Your personal power. So power is your capacity or ability to direct or influence the behaviors of others, yourself, or the course of events. So that is power. Now, power has a negative tone sometimes. We think of power and abuse, right? If you look at the news, there's so much power and abuse. I mean, who would want to be in politics these days, right? Thank God you guys want to be in the healing profession. But we look at this thing of power, but this isn't power over something. This is personal power with your ability to be at a cause of things and to influence things in a positive way. Okay, so don't take the word as a negative thing. And so when we look at power, it really consists of your unique gifts, the gifts that God has blessed you with, your values, your viewpoint, your beliefs, and also your limiting beliefs, as well as the rules that you have. What are the rules for success? What is rules for failure? What is rules for fulfillment, right? And your self-identity ultimately. So power is really about your self-identity. Cool stuff, right? So you look at this and you say, okay, well, how do you get this data? So I had the privilege of, do you guys know Joshua Jad? He's your president and vice president of the school. You guys know him? So I went ahead and I spoke at the College of Engineering. So I teach for the College of Medicine, I teach for the College of Business, and the College of Engineering. And so I go there, and Josh was in the class and says, hey, you know, we're launching our cabinet. Can you train our cabinet? So I went ahead and we did what's called the DISC profile. Have you guys heard of the DISC profile? Have you heard of it before? Okay, some of you. It's something that you want to look into. I don't have time to dive into it because literally it can be a 4-hour to a 4-day workshop. But I just want to go over a couple of principles here. So let me see what's going on here. There we go. And so D is dominance. Okay, so D is dominance, I is influencing, S is steadiness, and C is conscientious. But if you look at this and you say, hey, D is like very assertive. So D's are very assertive people. I's are very persuasive. My wife is very persuasive, by the way. And so she's a high I. And then an S is like steady, very supportive. And then a C is very analytical. And what they found in the population is that the breakdown is typically this, is that high D's, there's only about 3% of them in the population. A lot of those can be potentially your leaders in an organization, but leaders might be in other parts of it too. But a lot of leaders in organizations are high D's. I's are your persuasive ones. So D is a fast-paced, task-oriented. So above the line is task-oriented folks, below the line are people-oriented people. So you can be fast-paced and task-oriented, fast-paced and people-oriented. You can be slow-paced and people-oriented, which are great team players. And then you can be very analytical, like somebody said they want to be a researcher. Researchers are going to typically be very analytical, and that's what their gift is. And so the important thing on this is you can take these tests. There's a ton of assessments that are out there, and you can take them and learn about where your strengths are. And it's really important to know the gifts that you have, and it's important to work with your gifts and not fight them, right? And develop them. And so this is one tool that we do. And what I've kind of seen on this is like, anybody want to be like an ER nurse or ER physician? So that's going to be fast-paced, and it's going to be task-oriented. You're not developing a relationship with that patient. You're not going to tell me about yourself. You have family, you have kids. There's an emergency there, you got to handle the task, get done, and then go to the next room. It is task-oriented. That could be surgeons. You know, they say that surgeons might not have the best bedside manner. Have you heard of this? Okay, why is that? It's because they're task-oriented. They want to get in there, do the technical work, and get out, right? And do it efficiently, correctly, and fast, right? And so, or there could be hospital care. That could be owners of different organizations too. Persuasive, people-oriented people could be like chiropractors. Like, we are in a relationship business. Anybody want to be a dentist? It's a relationship business too. So you're going to have that primary care. Everybody want to do primary care? Okay, that's all related. You're their go-to person. You're their primary care. So that allows you to have that relationship with that family throughout the course of their lives. Could be a pediatrician. Who's the peds? Okay, so right, to see them growing up, it's amazing. So you have that aspect. Now, slower pace might be slow procedures. Support roles is what you think about. So I think about like a psychologist, their sessions are like an hour, right? I don't like hour sessions. I just have I like a certain pace. So you want to start saying, what kind of pace do you like? Do you like fast paced or do you like slow? Are you the type of person that when you're around somebody and they're talking really slow, that it drives you crazy? Anybody like that? Raise your hand. So you're probably fast paced. And then if somebody's talking super fast to you, you're like, hey, slow down. Who's that? You're slow paced, okay? That's all good. It's just how you're made. It's the DNA of you. But it's important to know that. Who thinks they're more task oriented? Okay? It's great. You should know it. Who's more people oriented? Okay? It doesn't make either one bad or good. And by the way, you're a mix of all of them. You're going to be a mix of all this stuff. You're not your disc profile. And your disc profile, you have elements of them all. But depending upon the situation, the environment, and the relationship, you're going to be you're going to be in a mode. Like, I'm a very high D. And so by being I'm a DI is what I am. I'm high D and high I. But when I'm home, I don't assume, if I assume a DI role with my wife, that will lead to divorce. It ain't going to be good. It ain't going to be a good thing. So I have to change the relationship. It's a different situation. But when I'm running my practice and we have patients and things matter and I have to get with things to go on, I got to progress this thing to happen. I got to be in command of the ship, okay? And so there's certain things that you got to do. Very valuable information. Now the other part is your viewpoint. You know, it's interesting. I was talking to a patient and I was telling him about the chiropractic approach. The viewpoint of chiropractic, which in this model is vitalistic. And she said that her husband is a pharmaceutical rep. Anybody want to be a pharmaceutical rep? Okay, so her husband's a pharmaceutical rep, and so he gives drugs. He gives drugs for a living. He's a drug dealer, right? And so, what do you call it like it is, you know? And he even says, well, I'm a drug dealer. And so he's a drug dealer, but she goes, but you know what? She tells him, but you know what? He really doesn't like drugs. It's like, well, why are you doing it then? Right? And so there's a conflict there, like, why would you want to do something that is incongruent with who you are, right? And so you want to know what's your lens. Again, neither is right or wrong. I certainly have a bent, okay? But I want you to understand which boat you might be in. And so the mechanistic viewpoint is this. This is that the body can be broken down to a bunch of moving parts. It's like you take anatomy, you can slice and dice, and all the parts are there, right? Body can be broken into parts, and health is fixing the broken parts to an acceptable norm. So you look at this, and there's a normative value, say in a blood test, there's normative values, and you want to follow that value. And then symptoms are a sign that something is wrong with the body, and if symptoms are a sign that something's wrong with the body, the treatment is aimed at stopping or reversing the symptoms. In modern medicine, if you have a headache, what's typical medicine for it, or treatment for it? A headache medicine. If you got a stomach issue, what's the treatment for it? Stomach medication. If you feel depressed, what's the treatment for? Depression medication. So if you have a cough, it's a cough suppressant, a fever suppressant. It's designed to treat the symptom, okay? Versus a vitalistic point of view is this: if the body has an inborn innate intelligence that goes beyond the parts. It's like, what is the difference between you and a cadaver? Same anatomy, guys. What's the difference? Something is living, right, and something is not living. But what makes that? So in chiropractic, they call it innate intelligence. In other languages, in other fields, you call it something else. You call it whatever you want, spirit, whatever it is you want to call. There's an intelligence within the body that allows it to work. And health, then, is the full expression of the body, mind, and spirit. Health is not just the absence of symptoms. It is the full expression of your body. Can you have no symptoms and be sick? Yeah. When does the symptoms of cancer show up? At the beginning, middle, or end? Towards the end. When do the symptoms of heart disease show up? Beginning, middle, or end? And for half the people, they have a heart attack, and half of them it's fatal. That's a bad symptom, by the way, death. Just so you know, you can write that down. Bad symptom. That doctor is a pretty smart guy. And so what happens is you have this. So then the key then is that symptoms are part of the normal function of the body. The normal function of the body, and the key is to remove that interference to allow your body to fully express itself. So now it's the removing of the interference. So here's the deal. Is a fever good or bad? But raise your hand if it's good. Raise your hand if it's bad. I mean, it doesn't feel good, right? You feel like crap, right? You're lethargic and all this. But the fever, what's a fever do? Why does the fever occur? Sorry? Something's wrong in the body. It is typically a bacterial or viral infection. Bacterial infection. Viral last fever, right? So you have a fever. The fever goes up. What happens to the bacteria? The bacteria dies, and then what does the fever do? It goes down. So why would you want to stop taking medicine to stop that process? You see what I mean? It doesn't make sense. But that's just what we've been taught, right? So many times we do what it is that we've been taught because that's what we've been taught, right? It reminds me of this person who, this granddaughter is cooking a ham. And she's cooking the ham, and the mother's teaching, we're going to teach how to cook ham. It's like around Thanksgiving, right? And they say, okay, well, this is how you do it. You cut one edge of the ham, 4 inches there, you cut 4 inches over here, you throw that away, and you stick the ham in the oven. So why do you do that? Mom, they go, well, that's the way Grandma did it. So, well, okay, so then that's just the way it's done. That's how we do it. That's our family recipe. That's the recipe. So she says, okay, well, she talks to her grandma and says, Grandma, like, so tell me, like, why the ham? She goes, well, that's the way I was taught. You cut one end, you cut the other 4 inches, and 4 inches, you throw them out, and then you make the ham. She says, why do you do that? She goes, my mother taught me that. Well, then she goes and she sees her great-grandmother at Thanksgiving and says, Great-grandma, tell me, what is the secret? Does it make it cook better? Is it like brown it? How does it make this ham work? Like, why do you cut the edges? And she's old and she's feeble, and she goes, well, child, she says, I did that because I only had one pan. It was 10 inches long, and we had to cut the edges to make the thing fit in there, and that's what we did. You see what I mean? So we can get boxed in ideas. You can get boxed in. I can get boxed in, right? And ideas, just because that's the way the ham was cut by your great-grandmother. And you can get boxed into a mode of doing this. I just want you to know what ship you're boarding. Does that make sense? And be totally committed to it. Whatever ship you board, sell out to it, is what I'm telling you. Appreciate the other one, but sell out to the other one and go for it. But there are two different viewpoints. And this will dictate your power and how powerful you are in that. And so there's two choices. I show this with every one of my patients. Like just the iceberg analogy. It's like, what sank the Titanic? My wife's favorite movie, right? Oh, on the front of the ship. Is it a symptom? I think she likes Leonardo DiCaprio, right? He looks 12 in that now, if you look at him. So the thing is do you treat the symptom, the thing that pokes through the surface, or do you get to the underlying cause? Like, what is your focus? What's your focus? What are you going to do? How are you going to address your health, right? How are you going to address the health of your patients? And what does the World Health Organization say? Well, we rank #1 in crisis care and 37th in health care. So this is what statistically shows what's going on. So we're the most expensive system. So it's always going to be more money to always chase crisis. In fact, in any area of your life, if you're chasing, isn't crisis in life pretty expensive? If you've had a crisis in your life, it's not like your air conditioning blows out, it's not like a cheap thing, you know? Or your car totally breaks out and you're a crisis, it ain't a cheap thing. Crisis is always more expensive. It's always better to actually maintain and protect, right? And so, purpose. First of all, I'm going to actually stop and see if there's any questions. So we went through kind of one aspect of the law of chiropractic, talking about power. Questions or comments, please. Someone ask me a question. Yes, sir.
You treat with asthma for chiropractic, how does that work?
Great. So treat people that you treat with asthma. What is your name, sir? Christopher, I'll get to you afterwards. Sir. I'll answer yours. So when you have asthma, so how does it work? Well, asthma is the lungs, right? And it's controlled by the nerves. And so all we do is we look where the nerve interferences and work on correcting it. So we look at that, we look at the upper thoracic spine, okay, which impacts the nerves of the lungs. We also work at the thoracolumbar spine because it impacts the diaphragm and how it's able to breathe. We also check the rib because the ribs can get tight. So when you see an asthmatic, they a lot of times have a posture of forward head posture and rolled shoulders because they're having to have trouble breathing. So this gets very compressed, which then further exacerbates the condition. So we want to do everything we can to open the chest up. So physically work on the posture, the structure, and the nerve supply. And then we also work on the vagus nerve, which is the very top, which has to do with your sympathetics and parasympathetics. So there's a protocol there, but we tend to see those bronchial changes. They're effective. Now, an adjustment is not like if you're having an acute asthma attack, you don't go to your chiropractor. Take the inhaler, okay? But to work on correcting and building strength within the body, chiropractic works really well with that. Does that make sense? Your question, sir.
When you do your adjustments, you use your hands. I know you have the bench, and then the one I entered for one, and he used his hands.
Great. So technique. So technique matters. So chiropractic is a philosophy, which I'm teaching the philosophy that the nervous system controls the body, the power of the body heals the body, and the keys are the interference. That's the philosophy. The science of it is all the neurology and all that stuff there. The art is how you apply that. So I use my hands, and I use instruments that click. I use instruments that are plugged into the walls that are repetitive. I use tables that drop. And at the end of the day, an adjustment is a force in a direction to change the position of the spine to take pressure off the nerves. So it's all different ways. My philosophy is to use the least amount of force possible for the maximum amount of effectiveness. So most maximizing comfort and maximizing effectiveness, finding that sweet spot, and then changing your approach until I find what works with you. So I can adjust every one of you in this room, and I might adjust every one of you slightly different based upon your back and your biomechanics and what's going on. So I love to hear the bones crack just like anybody else. But what happens is, that you shouldn't go to your neck, by the way. We just shot a very funny video you can watch on our channel. But the thing is you want to make sure that that it's not about the technique, it's about the result. Is what I'm getting at there. Cool. Other questions? Yes?
When do people usually see a chiropractor?
Well, so what's so neat about this, who's thinking about being like a sports like orthopedic surgeon of some level? Anybody want to do that? Okay, so then you can think about that. So then like I hung out with some of the orthopedics today. I visited my friends at their office, and you can be like, they're like a shoulder surgeon. So all they do is see shoulder cases. Or I talk to the hand guys, and he only does hands. And so with chiropractic, we work with the nervous system, and chiropractic is about maximizing the performance of the body, so we can work with anybody. So my youngest patient I work with, people say, when's the best time to get adjusted? This is what I tell women. When you're thinking about having a baby, that's the best time to get adjusted. Because I want to make sure that your body is in a good position to then carry that baby. Like if your pelvis is very torqued, it's going to create a not happy environment for the baby. The baby might not turn. It could be a breech presentation. So when you're thinking about getting pregnant, obviously that won't apply to you, sir. But the thing is, you know what I'm saying? But so you have that. And then so we work with them, then we work through pregnancy care. So I work with OBGYNs and do pregnancy care. Then I work with pediatrics and I do children. So if you like pediatric work, then you do children. So I can do pediatric chiropractic.
My bent is because I came into chiropractic as a child, and my family went, I like to take care of family. So my favorite population is you guys and up. And I don't personally like to care for a lot of seniors. Like I don't have a big Medicare population because unfortunately with the older population, they have a mindset that their symptoms should be gone immediately and they should not pay for it. Well, the truth is, if you have a lot of arthritis building up and you got a lot of complicating factors and you're taking 25 medications, it ain't going to happen real quick. It's going to take some time, right? So I'd rather see before you're taking a bunch of medication, before you beat yourself up, but while you're looking at that cell phone 85 times a day and staring at your computer and doing all these things and riding a skateboard and trying to navigate to everybody, I want to take care of you now. So you're my ideal population for me and what I do. All right, so let's go to purpose. The reason for something existing. And so your purpose is going to consist of your compelling why, your ultimate vision, and your inspiring goals. So your why, your vision, and your goals. And you've got to expand these. I will tell you one thing I've learned. Your goals are way too small. You have small goals. I just want to let you know that right now. Your goals are way too small because everybody's is. My goals are too small. Okay? And so you're either going to have no clarity or no clarity. You get what I'm saying here? What's the difference between no clarity and no clarity? The K and the W. That's knowledge and wisdom. And so what you want to do is you want to start getting some more knowledge and wisdom on getting clarity on what it is that you want to do. And so some of you who has really good certainty as to what they want to do for a living? Great. And who kind of is a little bit on the fence? That would be everybody else, right? So y'all need to get some clarity, which is a good thing. It's a good place to be now. Better to do it now than when you're in school, like say in chiropractic school. You know how much chiropractic school is now? How much debt it is? It's $275,000 a debt. I recommend don't go to chiropractic school or medical school, be 3 years into it, $200,000 in debt going, I don't like this. That's bad. That's a bad decision. But I will tell you that some of you will get caught in that because you did not try to seek clarity now before you dove into the damn thing. Right? It's like some of you will marry the wrong person. It will happen, okay? Some of you are dating the wrong person now, aren't you? And you know it. I can ask you to raise your hand, but it might not be good. The thing is it's because you lack clarity, right? And it's okay, but you don't want to do that. So you want to get clarity. And so your why, people say, well, how do you find your why, right? Well, your why can be found in looking at two areas. Your greatest moments of your pain and your greatest moments of your inspiration. When something really moves you emotionally, listen to that voice. Listen to that voice that moves you emotionally for you to go, wow, why am I attracted to this? What is it about this thing that gets me? And so for me, it was a beautiful thing because I was dealing with the greatest pain and my health deteriorating with my spine, combined with an amazing doctor. This doctor changed my life. The doctor who's my mentor, his name is Elliot. I'll show you a picture of him later. My son who's being made in my wife right now is going to be named Jesse, which means gift from God, and Elliot, which is my mentor, because he was a gift from God in my own life, and I wanted to honor his presence in my own son. And so we have this. So when you have those moments of pain, you can use your pain, and your pain can just destroy who you are, or you can use your pain and convert it into a purpose, right? So powerful. Are you guys getting something? Is this helpful? Yes? Okay. And so working hard for something you don't care about is called stress, and working for something you love is called passion. My advice to you is don't get a job. Don't ever get a job. Don't get a job where you have to go to work. Do something that you love and get paid well for it. My core value is, my principle is, I want to do what I love and I want to get paid well for it. Is that a bad thing? Who thinks that sounds like a pretty good concept, right? I mean, and here's the deal. You've got to be okay with your concept around finances. Because if you create finances, just value. So I want to do what I love and create a lot of value for it. Does that make sense? And that value should have a fair exchange, and that could be finances. And when you create that, you can be able to do more things. You can start a foundation. You can do a mission trip. You can donate to whatever organization you want to do. But then it's not work. Like, don't ever go to work. Don't get a job. Don't get a job. And so our mission is to love, serve, and inspire our community to help your family achieve your best life ever. So that's our purpose. That's why we exist in our practice, is to really do these aspects. And our vision is to help our community live life more abundantly. So people say like, well, why do I come to the school here? I can be at the office taking care of patients. I've had the privilege of speaking with Dr. Lopez. And by the way, I gotta tell you something. I teach this class as if this was the class I wish I could have sat in, right? When I give the information. Like if I would have learned this, I learned it way later than you guys. If I would have learned it now, that's why I chose to do it. But that man over there allows you the opportunity to be exposed to concepts by all different providers, you know, and that's a very powerful thing. So this is an easy class to kind of blow off, but you can really miss a lot of gold if you don't grab it, right, and don't seek it there. So why I do this, why I come here every time that he invites me, is because it's consistent with my vision, because you are part of my community. And so if you're not feeling well and you have a health issue, it is my responsibility to help you. It is my job to do it. It is my role, so I hold it very importantly. And so, what are you passionate about? And so, I want to get a little activity here. I want you guys to talk to your neighbor in just a minute. You're going to say, introduce yourself, right? And say, hey, what are things that you're passionate about? What excites you? And how can you infuse that passion into your life's work and make a living out of it? And so, we're going to talk 30 seconds maybe each way. Introduce yourself. And then tell them what you're excited about, what excites you. It doesn't have to be within your healthcare field. It could be within anything. And how can you infuse that, though, in what it is that you want to do? Go ahead and meet somebody. Talk to somebody.
I had to say that too. I don't know what I do.
My passions are to get people to sleep and get paid for this. So I think I'm going to be an anesthesiologist. I've had that plan for the past 14 years of my life.
14 years.
No, I lied. I was 4 years old. I was in fourth grade.
So that's it. If I become like a eye person, maybe I could do that elsewhere, not just in the problem is optometrist is like an American thing. Because in other countries, they're just like one eye doctor. There's not like two different types, you know, like surgery versus what you call it, not surgery.
Yeah.
Either way, if I go into research too, that means I never thought about it. Because I was like, after we get experience, we do. I am confused.
I thought about
Same. I was like, if you don't get to optometry school, like, I wouldn't even be upset. Like, I'm going to research. But that's if I really gotta see next semester, make sure that if research is like, yes.
What was the website where you passionate or the
Oh gosh. Calling off sides.
Thank you.
I don't know, helping people. And it's cliche, but
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Welcome. All right, so what are some
Cut that
passions
all
that
off
you're
again.
talking about? What's something you're passionate about? Tell me something that excites you. What do you like to do? It could be a sport, it could be an activity. What is it? Yes.
Video games,
Video games, awesome. And so what do you like about video games?
how interactive they are, and the different stories that can be told.
Nice. I would never have thought that. That's really cool. So what do you want to do for a living? What do you think you want to do for a living?
Physician assistant.
Okay. So how do you incorporate physician assistant with what you just said? You said 3 elements. What did you say? What do you like about video games?
The interactive.
Interactive.
Storytelling.
Okay.
And the hands-on.
And the hands-on approach. How can that apply to physician assistant?
There's different things that you can use the video games for to teach you how to do certain things, like how to solve problems.
Okay. So could that make you a better clinician? Knowing how to solve problems. That's what clinicians do, right? Yeah. Well, that's what physician assistants can do, help patients solve their problem, right? They're coming to you to have a problem they want to solve, right? So you can solve a problem. Are you interacting with them? Good. And is it hands-on? Absolutely. So then if you treated, what if you went to work treating physician assistant as if it was a video game? Would that be more fun? You see what I'm talking about here? You guys see how that can work? Who likes to use their hands? Who likes to build stuff? Yeah? Well, how can you use that building mentality, that skill that you have, and infuse that in what it is we do? So, I like to use my hands, and what is it that I want to do that's using my hands? Anybody? Is there something related to that? An aspect of, I want to use my hands, and the field I'm looking at uses my hands a lot. Maybe like a surgeon, right? Could it be, or a chiropractor, right? Yeah, but what is it you want to do? Okay, so, and what do you like to build, use your hands for? Like, what sort of things that you kind of do a lot with your hands? Okay. So building shelves, you said? Or creating, so building things, so now all of a sudden she's repairing and building a shelf, and she enjoys that, and then she's at the same end, and maybe it look different, right? Well, how similar is that to then going into somebody's, say, shoulder and rebuilding that and repairing that? Do you see how that works? So that it doesn't feel like going to work. You see, that's the sweet spot. When you do what you enjoy, then it doesn't feel like work. Now, what if he says, I like video games because I can sit in my room, not have to talk to anybody, isolate myself from the world, and just do this. That could be another passion for video games, right? Now, what then if he employed that, and then he was in a role where he's interacting with people all day long as a physician assistant? You see how there's going to be something called stress, anxiety, burnout? And so that wouldn't be in that sweet spot. So you want to find the elements, not the exact thing, but the elements of what it is that you really like to do, what inspires you, and then find the way to infuse it so you never have to go to work. Don't ever get a job. Don't ever get a job. Do what you love and get paid well for. Sounds cool? Okay. And so I think you need to have magic goals. So I created this term magic goals. You need to have SMART goals, which are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic and timely, but you also need magic goals. Without a vision, our people will perish. So magic goals cause us to be inspired to rise. So they cause us to be greatness. It's like Steve Jobs did not have small goals, right? Look in your pocket, okay, and tell me if Steve Jobs had small goals or what's on your desk. Who has an Apple product at all in their possession? Okay, he had to have some pretty darn freaking big goals. You understand? Okay, and so they have to be measurable. You want them to be attractive, and you want them to be giant. Giant goals that are inspiring and creative. And so that's what a magic goal is. Pretty cool acronym, huh? You can steal it, okay? Magic goals, and that's what you want to have here. So we need to have bigger goals. My biggest problem is I had a vision for my practice. I wrote down this newspaper thing, and I wrote down all about Eric James when I was in chiropractic school, and I was like, article about me and what I did, and it was dated 10 years down the road, and the number of patients that I saw, and the wife that I married, and the kids, and volume, and all these sort of things, and I wrote down this stuff. And I didn't find it, but then I moved several houses. We bought houses and sold houses and moved houses, and I find it in the box, this newspaper article, and I looked at it, and everything that I wrote down happened. So the power of writing down goals happened. The problem is the number actually wound up staying at that darn number. The problem I did is I wrote down too small goals. So here I was, my goal was way bigger. Our practice was one of the fastest growing practices in the country. We saw 5 times the national average in the first year, but it was too small a goal. I should have said, well, why don't we do 50 times the national average? I mean, that would be a different goal. That would cause a different level of thinking. So your goals that you have, I'm telling you, they're too small. So whatever your goal is, at least multiply it by 10. At least multiply by 10, because it will cause you to take a different action. Like, what if you were 10 times, who wants to have a spouse? Right? Well, what if you committed to be 10 times the spouse to that spouse? Right? What would that look like? Who here wants to be a father? What if you said, I want to be 10 times the father to my son? Or 10 times the mother to my daughter? What would that create? Who would you have to become to enable yourself to rise to that? And if you fell short, say you went for 10x, and you went to 7x, well, isn't that better than your crappy goal you already have right now? You see what I'm saying? And so you want to leave here with better goals, like something juicy, right? That will get you to think differently. So then your right people. Your people is your inner circle that has the greatest impact in the area of your life. So your people. So I want you to get this. First you have your power, your personal power, which then allows you to rise to a certain level of purpose. So I want you to see that your purpose will only rise to the level of personal power that you feel. Like if you feel disempowered in your career, if you feel disempowered in something, you're going to have a weak purpose. Do you see how that flows? There's a flow to this, yes? Raise your hand if it makes sense. So if your power is low, your purpose is low. The higher your personal power gets, the higher your purpose can attain, and your people change. And so you become a product of the 5 most people you associate with. So if you wrote down the 5 people in your life, and you wrote those names down, and you wrote a plus or a minus next to them, if they're a positive impact in your life or a negative impact in your life, that's going to be the quality of your life, by the way. It's pretty darn simple, okay? So you are the average of 5, so you want to really watch out who you hang out with, right? You know? And the other thing you want to think about is that if they did this exercise and they wrote your name, first of all, how many lists would you be on? So if someone wrote down the top 5 on their list, would you be on their list? Right? And would you be a plus or a negative? And theirs. That burns. That burns. Okay? And so your people then consist of your inner circle, but it also consists of the people who help execute your vision. So people who help execute, that's your team. It consists of the people that you serve. So those are, in our case, our patients. So I got my team, I got my patients, I got my peers, my colleagues, and then I have my advisors, your coaches, your mentors, your leaders. And so your bench needs to be consistent in this stuff. You can have all the skill, you can be a great doctor, but if you got no patients to serve, it's kind of a waste, right? Or you can have a lot of patients to serve, and you don't have a team to help execute it, you're going to be limited. Or if you don't have advisors or peers, you see how that works? It's your people, it's your bench. And so this is Dr. Elliott, who I told you about. And so he was my mentor, he's still my mentor. He's been practicing chiropractic for 40 years in Miami. I'll tell you what, anyone who's been doing a craft for 40 years, laying their hands on people, running around, chiropractor for the Miami Hurricanes, that's a pretty darn special guy to be able to stick around with him for 40 years, you know? So just the greatest guy in the world taught me a lot of these principles. And so who's got a mentor in their life? Who's got them? Raise your hand up high. I want you to know that these people are ahead of the game. You guys are ahead of the game because you have them, and your ability to get through that game, like I said, that learning curve we talked about, is going to be predicated on your ability to have a bench of advisors. And they're there. They exist. Dr. Lopez can be one of them. I'm serving as one of them for this format, is what I'm doing, if you allow me. And so that's the case there. And so how do you find one? You got to be open and be receptive. You got to be coachable. You gotta find someone who's not in your chain of command. So it's sometimes hard to have your boss be your mentor because you want to tell them what's going on with you, and they got to tell you what the reality of it is, right? They got to be real. You got to become noticed. So you got to make yourself aware. You know, get out of obscurity, and then you have to. They may not know you. So here's the deal: there's some mentors that I listen to every day that they don't know who I am. How does that happen? How does that happen? How do I have mentors that I listen to every day, but they don't know who I am? Who can that consist of? It could be podcasts, right? It could be YouTube. It could be other areas. I listen to books on tape all the time. The moment I get in my car, my Sirius got canceled, my satellite radio, and I was like, this is great. I'm forced to listen to books. So I put myself in that situation. All I do, I get in the car and I listen to books. I start my day at 4:30 in the morning and listen to my mentors at 4:30 in the morning till my trainer comes at 4:50, and then I start working out, and that's how I start my day. I infuse myself with mentorship, and then I work on my body so that then I'm ready to serve people. But you want to have that, people. You want to have that, and then when you do this, you want to create a relationship where you're adding value. Right now, you're at the stage where you can't afford to pay people large sums of money for coaching. Does that make sense? Like, you can't afford to have me coach you right now, okay? And so the thing is, and it's not a bad thing, it's just where you're at, but what you do is you just create value in that relationship, and you find ways to add value. So what I did was this, is I want to increase my learning curve. So when I talk about people, when I graduated from school, I knew that I was unconsciously incompetent about running a practice. I was aware of where I was on the chain. Everybody thought in my class I'd be the #1 person to start my own practice, to be successful right out the gate, but I knew that I didn't know. So I found the busiest office to work for. I worked for that office and I worked for him, and I grew his practice 40% in 1 year. Okay? Then, on my day off, which was Thursday, I worked Saturdays, but on Thursday was my day off. I worked for another doctor that was seeing double that volume for free. I worked for him for free. And so working for him for free on my day off, when I already was a physician, already getting paid, enabled me to increase my likelihood of meeting my goals that I was able to do, and gave me the certainty that I needed to do to open up my own practice by working for him for free. So the best advice I ever got was when I made no money and doing it there. Okay? And so very cool stuff, so you want to do this. All right, you guys still here? You with me still? Yeah? Okay, good. And so, process. So your process consists of the work in your career, the work on your career, and the standards and disciplines you choose to execute. So now I'm going to have to go a little bit faster. It always happens. So you want to work in your business, process is there, standards are important, and discipline. And execution is important as well. But this is process. And so the greatest freedom you have is the freedom of choice, choosing what it is that you want to do. And so you want to master your process. So a couple things here. About chiropractic, this is not always accepted, so I use it as a fuel for me. Hours can be long. Running any business has a source of stress, but also rewards. Who here feels like they have an entrepreneurial spirit? Okay, chiropractic could be a really good mindset for you if the other things are clicking. Negatives is, that's the negatives. I think there's some positives here. I don't know what they are. I guess they left. Anyways, just for this, there's a lot of positives, okay? I really like what I'm doing. The thing that you want to learn here is the hours or the schools and training is very similar. So you just go to chiropractic school instead of medical school. There's that. So anyways, you want to learn more about chiropractic school, talk to me. I'll help you out with that. And if you want to see what a school looks like in action, we'll partner with Life. And Life is a school in Atlanta. And through me, you can do this leadership weekend. It's valued about $3,000. By coming through me, you get a scholarship. It includes your airfare, your hotel, your meals, your ability to see the campus. So it's a way that if this is attractive to you, you can check it out. So I would suggest that if you're interested, talk to me about that. Process. So in our office, we do corrective care. So corrective care uses chiropractic and physical therapy synergistically, laser therapy, home care, and disc repair. So we use these different processes here. We look at things, we take x-rays on site, so this is a normal study here at the neck. So we work here. And then we see a lot of cases like accident cases. By the way, public service, you should know that you only have 2 weeks if you have a car accident. So if you have a car accident, even if you think it's a minor car accident, you should get checked by a doctor who specializes in this. We do. But just know, don't wait till you think it's going to go away because you lose the window of time. And it doesn't matter what impacts the vehicle. This woman came in, look at her neck curve. There's no curve. See that? She had neck pain, headaches, numbness and tingling. She went to her medical doctor. They did an MRI. She was having pain. The MRI showed positive disc problems. The medical doctor said, you need to go see a neurosurgeon. You want to put a plate in her neck. Plate in her neck. Metal. Lack of motion. And luckily her neighbor was a patient. And she says, why don't you try this technology first? So she came to the office. She was scheduled for surgery. I said, hold the surgery for 2 months. Let me work with you. We worked with her through this process of relief, corrective, strengthening, and wellness. So we took her through this whole process there. Was able to do work like adjustments. So we adjust, again, all different ages. So pediatrics to geriatrics. We adjust all different ages, different styles and techniques. We did different therapies, so this is neck traction, this is an exercise, core stability work, whole body vibration, so there's physical therapy before the work, it'll be after the work. There's a home care system. We use lasers, so we use a class 4 laser. So we have dentists referring us cases for TMJ. We do lasers on that. We do lasers on extremities. Works really well for post-surgical cases. We specialize in disc care, so if anybody has a disc bulge or disc herniation, we do decompression, so we did that with this lady. We did decompression for the case I just showed you. And then this was for post-X-ray. See that? 47% improvement. So corrective care chiropractors can take a pre-X-ray and a post-X-ray. So we're one of the few styles of chiropractors that can do this. This is our specialty within our profession. You can also see the shift to the left and this correction. His reflux went away because the nerves in the middle back was affecting the nerves of his stomach. So in addition to back pain, neck pain, and all these other things, the stomach issue went away. You can see this shift over here to the left improved. So we can take pre's and post. I love this stuff because I'm very analytical as well. Cool? And so what you want to see here then is this. The power and the purpose are the inner work. That's the inner work that you got to do, the mental game. And now you have the space to do that. And the outer expression is who you attract in your life and the processes that you do, right? And then when you see here, what that is, a poet design is that once you discover your gifts and your passions and desires, so gifts meaning your power, your passions and desires, your purpose, you must systematically find ways to increase your engagement. So find ways to get in the game of whatever game that you want to play, and align with the busiest and the best people to increase your learning curve. So that you find the right people, learn their processes, so that you can go through this thing faster. See how that goes full circle here? Okay? And that's what you want to be able to do. Now, and then you want to just ask yourself, hey, change is inevitable. The question is are you going to progress? Life is always going to present you changes. How are you going to use those changes? Will you use it to progress in life? And so the choice is yours, right? And so our vision is to help you be at your best. That's our goal. That's our purpose. And I always just say you can make a difference by sharing and giving love to others. So my prayer to you is that as you go through your journey, as you help people, my daughter's in this journey for a reason. Life is a journey, right? As you go through your journey, then you want to just, the greatest thing you can do is give people hope to inspire them, greatness in them, right? And so a couple of things, housekeeping, number one, I do speak a lot, so I speak in the community. And so if you're interested, if any of you guys are in a club and you want a speaker, I go and I do this speaking engagements. I do this for free. This is how I tithe to the community. So you would just email foundation@synergyoviedo.com. So if that's something interested for you. The other thing is if you're interested in what I talked about for the book, the concepts, and you want to have access to that information, then you'll get first access, you'll get on the list that when things are coming there, or I'll send some pre-information out to you guys, you'll get that stuff. So you just email me. And then the other thing is this, is some of you, as I'm speaking, I'm telling you things, you're like, wow, I didn't know that chiropractic can help out with that, and I'd really like to know if that can assist me. So what I did is I donated 7 appointments to this class. I do this every year. $2,500 of services. I'm donating. It's $300 name and x-rays. And we can systematically see if your condition can be helped through chiropractic. And so there's only a couple rules. Number one is you need to have a health problem you want to fix. Like this is not, don't take me up on this if you're just interested in chiropractic as a career and just wanted to see the office. But we can find another way for you for that. This is that I have something that has been affecting me and I want to fix it. I want to fix problems, okay? Second thing is, whatever time that you commit to in your schedule with your appointment, because it's free, right? And just following commitments in general, keep that appointment. Does that seem fair? It's like if I scheduled lunch with you and I didn't show up, that probably wouldn't be very nice. So don't schedule if you're not going to commit to that appointment. And the third one is you just request the appointment at info@synergyoviedo.com in the next 24 hours. But I'm going to give you a little bit of reality. I park at Garage D. I will tell you, it takes me, 15 minutes to get there. By the time I get there, all 7 are done. So if this is something that you're interested in, then just email me like right away because it's impossible for me to just dictate who I'm going to accept. So I just do the first 7. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, it's all good. Does that sound fair? Okay, no, there's no pressure. If you want to have it done, it's there for you. But that's what you email. And then here's just the summaries right there. Good? Awesome. Did you guys learn something?
Yes.
Is it good? Yeah? All right.